Next story is about coronavirus. We've been doing a lot of talk every week about the coronavirus stocks that are fighting and scrapping to get to be the first company that gets the vaccine. Well, in keeping that in mind, the FDA sets standards for coronavirus antibody tests in the crackdown on fraud. A lot of people are putting out that we've got the cure, we've got this. So the FDA has stepped in and said, yeah, there's going to be some regulation on how this works. The Food and Drug Administration, under criticism for allowing hundreds of antibody tests for the new coronavirus on the U.S. market without prior review, has imposed rigorous precision standards on commercial test companies, and it said it's cracking down on fraudulent actors. So I'm using this story to get into which coronavirus stocks are the best to get into. I'm going to go to my watch list of stocks that I have today. All right, let's go to the Viewers tab. Here are my stocks for this week's Trending Thursday, 5/7 of 2020. We're looking at 19 stocks altogether. The first two stocks in the list we've already looked at, which were the VVC and the SPY. We looked at them on a graph. Now, my next two stocks specifically for coronavirus, Gilead, that was a hot pick last week. And my other stock is going to be MRNA, which happens to be personally my favorite, one of my favorite ones to look at, and I'll explain to you in a second why. Let's analyze the stocks. Every stock in our database gets a value, what we feel the stock is currently worth, and our mantra is to have you in safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. So, in order to see what a stock is worth, we give a value. Value looks at things like earnings growth, that kind of thing to establish a value for a stock. We also look at interest and inflation, the same things that affect value in the market. All right. Today, Gilead is trading at 77.77, and the value is 71.49. We're going to call this stock fairly valued. It's a little bit higher than value, but it's within 10%. So we're going to call this stock fairly valued. All right. Moderna, as a pharmaceutical company, trading at $53.98. Man, the value is only at $3.02. This stock is grossly overvalued. Now, because the stock is overvalued doesn't make it a bad stock. It just means that people are willing to pay a premium to own the stock. All right, now let's do further analysis. When we get to these five indicators, RV, RS, RT, VST, and CI, these are our core proprietary indicators, which are all cast on a scale between 0 and 2. We make it simple. If the indicator is above the value of 1, it's favorable. If it's below the value of 1, it's unfavorable. Relative value looks at a stock's long-term price appreciation potential. Its potential long-term to move higher. Above 1, the stock has got higher potential to continue to make money over time. But we also compare it to an alternative investment in a AAA corporate bond. So when I look at RV, both of these stocks have RVs below 1. Long term, neither one of these stocks may be the way you want to go, because I'd like to have a stock, if I'm going to hold it, that's got good upside potential. Next indicator, relative safety. This indicator is an indicator of risk. Relative safety looks at the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. Layman's terms, does this company meet or exceed its earnings expectations quarter over quarter, year over year? Above 1, the stock's got a high probability of beating or meeting earnings. Below 1, not nearly as much. So Gilead, not nearly as volatile, or not nearly as what's the word I'm looking for? Well, it's better safety as far as Moderna is concerned. All right, it's less riskier than Moderna. Moderna has got a relative safety below 1. Remember that RS is an indicator of risk. So Gilead is a little less riskier than Moderna. But now this is what really puts the rubber to the road. RTs, our indicator that looks at the short-term price trend of a stock. Is this stock in an uptrend or not? Above 1, RT above 1, the stock's in an uptrend. The higher above 1 it is, the faster in an uptrend it is. Gilead Sciences, because it's in that world of coronavirus stocks, a lot of those stocks are moving. RT is above 1. But wait, look at Moderna. Look at its RT at 1.87. This stock is really moving high. So when I look at a stock like Moderna, I like it because in that space of coronavirus stocks, it's one of the fastest moving stocks. But because I know the RT is above 1, the relative value and relative safety are below 1, this stock is not fundamentally sound. This is more of a technical play, and most of the stocks within the coronavirus field are technical plays. Let me take this a step further. How about Gilead grows their earnings at a clip of negative 5% a year? How about Moderna grows their earnings at a clip of negative 9% a year? So these companies not only fundamentally are not altogether sound, but they're losing money. How do they make money? When these companies come up with drugs, that's where the money comes in. Why do we pay so much money for drugs? Because these companies who put a lot of money behind research and development don't always get paid on it because the FDA may not always approve their drug. So all of that money that was put out from research and development adds to the lessening amount of money that they make a year. But some of these companies do make some good drugs and they make a lot of money up on those drugs. So just keep that in mind. Let's go. They're both highlighted. They're both hold recommendations. Let's highlight them. Right click, view the stock graph. If I'm looking at these, Gilead, hot play last week, but look at that now. Look at that 20-day exponential moving average. We looked at it last week. It was rocking and rolling. What does it do now? Now this gives you more insight as this is rather more of a trade than a long-term investment. All right, look how quickly it fell back down, went below the 20-day exponential moving average. Even with today's information, still below. Look at the earnings, falling bad. My stock, Moderna, look at that equity curve. This may not be a long-term hold, but look at it above the 20-day exponential moving average. I wouldn't mind swing trading this stock. Swing trade, staying in the stock for a couple of days to a couple of weeks. Long-term is something I'm looking at for my retirement portfolio. This is not a retirement stock, but this is one of my favorites as far as coronavirus. And right now, it's trading right at that level of resistance. If I'm not in this and you're looking at this as a brand new stock to think about, make sure that the stock's price goes 12 cents higher than the high before you jump on board. That way you are buying into a continually rising stock. And look at the earnings per share. May be negative, but look at it's getting less negativer. It's getting better. All right. Moderna is a stock to keep your eye on from the coronavirus, in the coronavirus space. But wait, there's a step more. We have a coronavirus watch list. I click on it. We've got, I think, 40 stocks or so in here. 39. My last one is MGNX. This was a new stock that I need to put in here. MGNX, that should give me 40 stocks. There we go. We've got 40 stocks in this watch list. And anybody who keeps asking, well, we need this list, go back to the past videos that we've done on COVID-19. Joey does a good job of highlighting which talk I'm doing on each individual video. I always take time out so that you could take a screenshot. But look at this. One way I love using this is to sort this list every morning by percent price change. I can see what stocks are moving. In the Jockey Club this morning, we did jump on board with TTPH. How about the stock that I just talked about? Up 10% today. There's a lot of people that are in here that make money. Now, reason why I like doing this personally, this is on a personal note. A couple of days ago, I got into a stock, opened this up. There was a stock in here that was moving, MGNX. It was up 100% when I saw it. Well, I put in a buy stop order if it gave me an opportunity to get in. I will never chase a stock, but it gave me an opportunity to get in. Yesterday or the day before, it went up 259%. I caught 68% of that move. I took my money and ran, blew up my portfolio about $4,000 just on that trade alone. So I love being able to have you guys build this watch list. Actually, it is in the software. If you have the software and you go down to special watch lists, go to special watch lists. There's a watch list in here called coronavirus stocks. So for any of you who are not subscribers, you want to access to this list, we got it for you right here as being a subscriber to the software. As being a subscriber to the software, this watch list is already built in for you. All right, so that is my coronavirus story today. The FDA is stepping in to put more regulations so that people are not out there trying to rush drugs through inappropriately and close out on the fraud. All right. Any questions, Joey?
What is CI?
CI is comfort index, also cast on a scale between 0 and 2. Comfort index looks at a stock's ability to withstand long or lengthy price declines. Stocks that have high CI are stocks that may fall, but they're resilient enough to keep moving back up very quickly. Good question. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.